Nobody saw this coming. In a week packed with WNBA highlights, two teams flipped the script, and it wasn't the ones you expected. The Los Angeles Sparks looked like they were falling apart, riding a 3-game skid. The Connecticut Sun hadn't won a single game at home. And yet both squads delivered performances that shook up every single WNBA prediction today. In the Sparks versus Wings showdown, Azura Stevens dropped a career-high 5 3-pointers, Odyssey Sims stayed red-hot, and Dearica Hamby lit up the scoreboard, sending the Dallas Wings into a full-on meltdown. And over in Mohegan Sun Arena, Marina Mabrey unleashed a 34-point explosion against the surging Atlanta Dream, while veteran Tina Charles sealed the deal with ice-cold buckets in the clutch. So now the league is asking, was this a one-night spark? Or are the Sparks and Sun suddenly real threats for anyone making WNBA picks? Let's break it down. Heading into the weekend, momentum was not on the side of either the Los Angeles Sparks or the Connecticut Sun. The Sparks had lost 3 straight, their defense looked shaky, and fans were already questioning if this team, once full of promise, was sliding into a lost season. Meanwhile, the Dallas Wings, despite a rough 1-7 record, smelled blood and were hoping to snap their own cold streak in the Sparks versus Wings clash. Across the league, the conversation was all about WNBA picks, stats, and speculation. Analysts weren't just watching scores, they were eyeing trends, chemistry, and breakout potential, and based on recent performances, neither the Sparks nor the Sun were giving anyone much to believe in. On the East Coast, the Connecticut Sun were still searching for their first home win, and waiting for them was the red-hot Atlanta Dream, who had won 4 in a row behind strong outings from Rhyne Howard, Alicia Gray, and a tough physical defense. WNBA predictions today favored Atlanta. The betting lines leaned Dream. The fans? They expected domination. Instead, what they got was a reminder that in the WNBA, no lead is safe, and no team is untouchable. Because in 2 different arenas, on 2 very different nights, something clicked. One team erupted with pace, precision, and pure intensity. The other punched back with sharp shooting, lockdown defense, and veteran composure. And in both cases, what started as just another regular season game turned into something way bigger. Nobody expected it, not after 3 straight losses. But the Los Angeles Sparks didn't just bounce back, they blew the roof off. From the moment the ball tipped in the Sparks versus Wings matchup, the energy was different. The Sparks came out aggressive, fast-paced, and dialed in from deep. And at the heart of it all, Azura Stevens, a player who had been quiet in previous games, suddenly lit up the scoreboard like she had something to prove. She didn't just have a good night, she had the night. Stevens buried 5 3-pointers, a career high, and racked up 21 points on deadly efficient shooting. Her confidence was unshakable, especially late in the 4th quarter when she drilled her final 3 off a slick dime from Kelsey Plum, catching it wide open in the corner and letting it fly without hesitation. Pure net. But this wasn't a solo act. Dearica Hamby added 20 points of her own, continuing a season-long trend of consistent dominance. And Odyssey Sims? She followed up her monster 32-point night against Phoenix with another 19, including a momentum-changing 3-point play just seconds before halftime. That single play shifted the entire game's energy, because when the Sparks came out of the locker room, they didn't come to play. They came to hunt. A blistering 6-0 run opened the 3rd quarter. Then came a 9-0 blitz early in the 4th that turned a close contest into a runaway. The Dallas Wings couldn't keep up, missing shots, turning the ball over, and losing defensive assignments like a team unraveling in real time. The score ballooned to 76-55 before Dallas could blink. And while fans and analysts updated their WNBA picks in real time, the Sparks were rewriting their identity on the court. For the first time all season, they weren't surviving, they were thriving. But as Stevens exploded and Sims controlled the floor, there was another storm building, because hundreds of miles away, someone else was about to steal the spotlight. And her name was Marina Mabrey. She wasn't supposed to be the headline, but in front of a roaring crowd at Mohegan Sun Arena, Marina Mabrey didn't just rise to the moment, she dominated it. The Atlanta Dream came in hot, 4 straight wins, a 5-2 record, and momentum on their side. With stars like Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, and Naz Hillman firing on all cylinders, all signs pointed to another win. If you were following WNBA predictions today, the smart money was on the Dream. But Mabrey had other plans. She torched the defense for 34 points, a season high, and came just 2 shy of her career best. From floaters to pull-ups to catch-and-shoot threes, she hit from everywhere. Her rhythm, flawless, her confidence, unshakable, and her impact, devastating. Right before halftime, with the game hanging by a thread, she buried a smooth floater with just 0.5 seconds left on the clock, giving the Connecticut Sun a 36-35 lead and completely flipping the energy in the building. And then came the third quarter. Mabrey opened the second half with a personal 6-0 run, sparking a 12-2 Sun explosion that left the Atlanta Dream scrambling. The pressure defense suffocated Atlanta's offense. The pace shifted, the lead grew. And just like that, Connecticut, a team winless at home, was in control. This wasn't just another game, this was a takeover. Mabrey's 13 for 22 shooting night had WNBA highlights written all over it. Her 4th career 30-point performance put the rest of the league on notice. And in one explosive stretch, she silenced every doubt about whether the Sun had what it takes to compete with the league's elite. But Atlanta wasn't done yet. They clawed back, cut the lead to 1, and looked ready to snatch the game in the final stretch. And then Tina Charles happened. The Atlanta Dream weren't going down without a fight, with Ryan Howard knocking down a buzzer-beating 3 and a 16-4 fourth quarter run, bringing the game to a razor-thin 62-61 margin. The momentum was shifting fast. The Connecticut Sun looked like they might collapse under pressure. The Dream had the juice, the energy, the belief, but Tina Charles had the final word. When everything tightened, Charles did what veterans do. She took over, scoring 7 of her 19 points in the final 6 minutes. She stopped Atlanta's momentum cold. Every bucket she dropped came at the perfect moment, from mid-range daggers to gritty finishes in the paint. She didn't just score, she stabilized. While the Dream missed 4 of their first 5 shots in the 4th and coughed up careless turnovers, Charles put her stamp on every possession. She found her spots, used her body, and dictated tempo like a true floor general. It was a classic Tina Charles performance, efficient, powerful, and timed to perfection. A reminder that while young stars light up the scoreboard, experience still wins games. Meanwhile, the Connecticut Sun locked in on defense. They held Atlanta to just 1 field goal in a critical 5-minute stretch. And while Charles was anchoring the offense, another name was quietly doing damage on the other end. Because while stars shine, teams win. And Connecticut's depth was about to show why this game was more than just a breakout. While the stars soaked up the spotlight, it was the unsung heroes who kept everything from unraveling. In Los Angeles, Kelsey Plum quietly delivered one of her most balanced performances of the season. She didn't need to drop 30. Instead, she orchestrated the offense with precision, finishing with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. Her connection with Odyssey Sims created clean spacing, smart rotations, and the kind of ball movement the Sparks had been missing all year. When Plum was on the floor, the offense flowed. And when she found Azura Stevens open in the corner for that 5th dagger 3, that was chemistry you can't fake. And on the other side of the country, it was the youth movement keeping Connecticut in control. Saniya Rivers, a rookie with a defensive motor that doesn't quit, made game-changing plays that never showed up in the box score highlights, but made all the difference. 3 steals, 2 blocks. Relentless pressure. She disrupted passing lanes, stopped transition buckets, and rattled Atlanta's rhythm just as they started to push. Then there was Rickea Jackson coming off the bench for the Sparks with a steady 10 points and poised minutes that helped LA stretch their lead while starters rested. And don't forget Bria Hartley in Connecticut. 11 crucial points off the bench, including key shots that steadied the offense when it began to stall. Her spark gave the Sun breathing room in a game where every possession mattered. It wasn't just about the big names, it was about depth, execution, trust, and in a league where the margins are razor thin, those role players, they're the difference between surviving and winning. But while the Sun and Sparks were putting the league on notice, two once promising teams were quietly unraveling. While the Los Angeles Sparks and Connecticut Sun surged, their opponents crumbled under pressure. And now, the warning lights are flashing. For the Dallas Wings, the 93-79 loss wasn't just another L. It was their fourth straight defeat, and the third time in that stretch they'd allowed 90-plus points. That's not just bad luck, that's a defense in freefall. Turnovers, missed rotations, zero paint protection. Against the Sparks, they opened the fourth quarter with 3 giveaways and 2 bricked shots in under 3 minutes. LA didn't just capitalize, they feasted. WNBA picks that once favored Dallas are now being reconsidered entirely. Even with flashes of hope, like Dijopnai Carrington putting up 16 points and JJ Quinterly logging a career-high 14, the Wings couldn't stop the bleeding. Luisa Giesel-Soter recorded her first double-double, but leadership? Absent? Defensive identity? Missing? Fans are starting to ask the hard questions. Is it the coaching? Is it chemistry? Or is there something deeper unraveling in the locker room? And over in Atlanta, the cracks are starting to show too. The Dream came in on a 4-game win streak and left exposed. Yes, Ryan Howard and Brittany Griner both dropped 18, and Naz Hillman added 14. But when the Connecticut Sun turned up the pressure, Atlanta buckled. Their late-game execution vanished. Their defensive poise disappeared, and the confidence they'd built over the last 2 weeks, gone in an instant. One game doesn't define a season, but it can reveal everything. And right now, both Dallas and Atlanta are trending in the wrong direction. And fast. So now the question echoing across every analyst desk and fan feed is simple. Was this just a hot night or the start of something bigger? Because what Azura Stevens, Odyssey Sims, and Dearica Hamby showed against the Dallas Wings wasn't random. This was the 4th time this season Stevens and Hamby both cracked 20-plus points in the same game. And that's not coincidence. That's chemistry. And when Kelsey Plum is out here flirting with triple-doubles, while Rickea Jackson chips in double digits off the bench, suddenly Sparks playoff hopes don't sound far-fetched. Suddenly your WNBA picks might need a full rewrite. And in Connecticut, something's changing too. Marina Mabrey's 34-point explosion wasn't just a personal highlight. It was a shift in energy for a team desperate for traction. Add in Tina Charles showing her clutch gene is still elite, Saniya Rivers emerging as a defensive game changer, and Bria Hartley locking down bench minutes. That's not just a win. That's a blueprint. The Connecticut Sun, long seen as a team in transition, might have just found their identity. Fast-paced, gritty, and unafraid of the moment. The energy at Mohegan Sun Arena wasn't just loud, it felt like belief. Still, one thing is true across the board. Momentum in the WNBA is fragile. Teams rise, teams fall, and one off night can unravel everything. But for now, the Sparks and Sun didn't just win, they dominated. They sent a message, and they flipped the entire WNBA predictions landscape in one weekend. Now the pressure's on. Can they repeat it? Because if they can, the playoff picture just got a lot more dangerous. 2 games, 2 statements, 1 massive shift in the WNBA power balance. The Los Angeles Sparks didn't just snap a losing streak, they looked like a team reborn. With Azura Stevens stretching the floor, Odyssey Sims managing tempo, and Dearica Hamby dominating inside, they showed the kind of dangerous balance that makes coaches lose sleep. Add in Kelsey Plum's floor leadership and real depth off the bench, And suddenly, this team isn't rebuilding. They're threatening. Meanwhile, the Connecticut Sun finally defended their home court in style. Marina Mabrey's 34-point takeover wasn't just electric, it was defining. Tina Charles locked it down when it mattered. Saniya Rivers and Bria Hartley held the line, and together they exposed cracks in a red-hot Atlanta Dream team many believed was surging toward the top of the standings. But here's the thing, one night doesn't win a season. One game doesn't guarantee a playoff run, and one breakout doesn't silence the doubters. The real test starts now. Can the Sparks keep the fire lit? Can Connecticut carry that energy into the next matchup? And for Dallas and Atlanta, can they bounce back? Or is this where things start to spiral? Because in a league as unpredictable as the WNBA, the margins are razor thin. One team's rise is another's fall, and every week, the story changes. So now we want to hear from you. Was this the Sparks' true breakout, or just a blip? Can Mabrey lead the Sun back into the elite tier? And who's in deeper trouble? The Dream or the Wings? Drop your take in the comments. And don't forget, we've got more WNBA highlights, updates, and behind-the-scenes stories coming all season long. If you thought this week was wild, just wait. Because in the WNBA, the next twist is always just one game away.